Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I was not tagged by anyone to do this, but I decided to tag myself, so yeah, let's get started. So question number 1 is best book you've read so far in 2020. For me, this is kind of like picking a movie where you like both movies, but they're different genres and you can't really compare them. So I'm picking 3 books. The first book is The Silent Patient, which is a thriller. The second book is Kafka on the Shore, which is kind of a magical realism contemporary. And the third book is My Sister's Keeper, which is a contemporary drama. I'm not really going to be giving much of a summary because I've already talked about these books in great detail in my June book wrap-up. So if you guys are interested, then please head on there. Question number 2 is best sequel that you've read in 2020. Unfortunately, I've only read one sequel, so it's the only one that really fits this category, but it's 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James. And it was a good book. I'm happy I read it, but I don't think it would be my favorite book. It just kind of fit the criteria. Question number 3 is new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. So I've been wanting to read The Two Lives of Lydia Bird by Josie Silver, and this is actually about a woman who's very much in love with her fiance until he dies in a car accident. She's hurt, she's grieving, she's healing eventually, and she eventually finds love again. However, there's something going on with the parallel universe, and suddenly she has an opportunity to kind of be with her fiance again because he never was killed in that car accident, and she has to make a decision and choose between her new love or her old love. And I think this is gonna definitely like tug at my heartstrings, but my body is ready. The next question is most anticipated release for 2020. So I've been wanting to read a couple of series, and the second books haven't come out yet, so I've just kind of been waiting for them to come out so that I can just buy them in bulk and just kind of finish them in one sitting. The first book that I would like to get is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. The second book is the Kyoshi Warrior series based off of the Avatar series on television, and I'm really excited. I just finished watching Avatar with my boyfriend like a week ago, and it's so good. I finally understand all the hype, so I'm hoping that these books come out soon so I can go and buy them. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment. For this, it would be The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and it's not because it was a bad book by any means. It was a good book. I just was a little bit let down because I had heard so much hype about it, and I think I had gotten to all the hype, and I was just a little bit let down when I wasn't as impacted as I thought I was going to be. I think part of the reason why is because I had just read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert less than a month before reading that book, and they have very similar messages, so I just wasn't really touched by the book because I had already learned the lesson from the other book. Question number 6 is biggest surprise. So for this, I'd have to choose 2 books. The first book is My Sister's Keeper, once again, because I had watched the movie as a child and I really wasn't touched by it and didn't really remember anything from it. I pretty much read the book because it was a buddy read, and I went into it not expecting anything, and I ended up loving it. I loved the characters. I felt so much empathy for everyone. It had a lot of moral ambiguity in terms of kind of not knowing which side is right and wrong, and I really liked that about the book. It's by far one of the most touching contemporaries that I think I've ever read in my life. The second book, Kafka on the Shore, is a magical realism contemporary novel, and once again, I also read it as a buddy read and did not think I was actually even gonna like it because I've heard it's very obscure and kind of unusual and weird, but I ended up loving it. Even the really dark, disturbing parts, I ended up just finding beauty in the entire book in general, and I really want to go read more of Haruki Murakami's books now in the future. Okay, so question number 7 is favorite new author. This is very hard for me because, as you know, I took a reading hiatus kind of for 4 years during college, so I really didn't get to experience a lot of these popular authors that everyone's been raving about. So I've been reading nothing but great new authors. So I'm just going to talk about an author that surprised me today. So I'm participating today actually in a 24-hour readathon hosted by Alexandra Rosalind, and I'm reading To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, and I am so impressed, guys. I cannot put the book down actually. I'm already on page 100 and something, and it's only 12 p.m. So yeah, I'm very impressed by her writing, and it definitely makes me want to go out and see what else she's written out there. Question number 8 is the newest fictional crush. Honestly, thinking about it, a lot of the characters that I've been reading about recently in the past 2 months have really not had any swoon-worthy characters that I've just kind of been pulling for. However, I think Nicholas Young from Crazy Rich Asians is probably the winner. He's very sweet, witty, and genuine, and handsome, you know, kind of rich. But I think that he would probably be my book husband if I had to compare from everyone else I've been reading about. Question number 9 is newest favorite character. For this, it would have to be Grace from Behind Closed Doors, which is a thriller novel about a seemingly happily married couple. And I'm sure you can guess that it's not as perfect as it seems. I just really love how sweet and selfless she is towards her sister. And I don't think it's a spoiler, but I'm not going to give anything else away about the book. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry. I don't really cry in books, which is really funny because I cry so easily when it comes to movies or television shows. However, I did shed a few tears, I think, when it came to reading My Sister's Keeper. It was just very emotional, and it was definitely a roller coaster. Question number 11 is a book that made you happy. For me, that would be Snow Falling by Jane Villanueva. And I'm sure if you guys are Jane the Virgin fans, you would know that this book was published in the television show and the producers kind of brought it to life and published it in real life world. So I'm not complaining. Honestly, I was really impressed with the book. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Very simple read. I got through it in 2 days and it just let me feel very lighthearted and fluffy. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book that you've purchased or received, but I'm going to show you guys 5 beautiful books. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea by Maggie Takuda Hall, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, and House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Cragg. So those are just really beautiful books that I currently have in my collection that I'm just really excited to read. Question number 13 is what books do you need to read before the end of the year? If I were to give you guys my list, this video would be 2 hours long. I have a very long TBR list and goal for myself. So instead of giving you guys a 2-hour extended video, I'm just going to tell you guys 3 books that I'm planning on reading in the next month. So my August TBR preview. So the first book is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The second book is Heart of the Moors by Holly Black. And the third book is China Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, which is a sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. I think question number 14 is favorite video that you've done so far this year. I think it would have to be either my July book haul or my June wrap up. For those videos, I actually made like a very brief kind of script to follow, and that really helped me a lot remember what I wanted to talk about in the video. Lastly, question number 5 is favorite booktubers. I'm just gonna feature one right now, and it is Alexandra Rosalind. I think that she is very talented at making videos. Her editing is superb. If you go back to some of her 2018, 2019 videos, she really goes above and beyond in her book hauls and book wrap-ups, which is really entertaining to watch. She does a lot of middle grade novels, which I really like because there aren't a lot of YouTubers that talk about middle grade novels, and it is really nice to see that. Anyways, and thank you guys so much for watching my video. I'm sorry if I was rambling. I'm sorry if there were some pauses. I'm kind of in a weird mood today. I have a lot of errands to do. I still have to finish my book for 24-hour readathon, so got a lot of jumbled up thoughts in my head right now. Please leave a comment down below if you have heard or been wanting to read any of the books that I mentioned. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye!